for joining in. We are here on the show. Let me just see if I am, in fact, live. Yes. Are we doing this? We are live. Okay. So let's go back to the channel. I have just my first live stream. Thank you, everybody. I just wanted to come online to hang out for a minute because I think I need to push the subscriber button here and sort of work on that somewhat. But I just wanted to hang out and talk a little bit about who I am and where I came from so you guys understand. I feel like 46 subscribers. I've got the show more or less where I've got it where I want as far as the formatting because I do. If you don't know, I came from a circus background. I was raised between Michigan and Mexico City. So my family in Mexico owns a circus. And I grew up around that. And then we moved back to the States when I was in my early years. And then I went into the Navy. I was a Navy photographer, so I think I should have quite a few Navy buddies out there. I was stationed in the Philippines and worked in a photo lab over there. We had about 25 people working in our photo lab. And we did a lot of traditional photography. It was all black and white and color. We did a lot of slide processing, color processing. We did an aerial reconnaissance photography. I did a lot of processing in that area. We did a lot of measurement and analysis with our in our stations there. We had C41 and we had these machines called I don't know, you Navy guys can chime in. It's been about quite a few years since I was in the Navy. So um, there was these Kokomo machines. I think we used to process these long, long, big magazines of rolls of paper, and it was a fun time. I was in for a few years, so that was a good time. And then coming up in actually August 5th is going to be Gumby's birthday. Now, in 2005, I was one of the producers of Gumby's 50th anniversary. And let's play a little bit of that here. Get out of the way. I'm not sure if you can hear that. But I'm not going to play too much because I don't want to get a strike. So we're going to turn that off there. And that project was interesting because Olivia Olson there, she was in the movie Love Actually. And you've probably seen that around Christmas time. It's a little girl and a little boy who have a little boy has a little crush on a little girl. But anyway, Olivia, her father was one of the writers for SpongeBob and some other shows there on TV. And he was one of our writers for the Gumby 50th anniversary party. And we hired the band Smash Mouth. And we had one of the guys from the Tubes, Gary Cambra, came on and did the sound. And I mean, honestly, the show was a lot of fun, but it was a bit of a fiasco. We had a nightclub in San Francisco. My business partner and I went to NBC Studios and asked for permission from Mr. Sarnoff. They owned Gumby at the time. And we produced the show. It was kind of hectic, and I don't know whatever happened to the show. I mean, I actually lived with Art Clokey for about 3 months while I was editing the video, and eventually things happened. Data got lost. It got moved around. I'm not sure where some of the project lies now, but it's out there in the ether. And yeah, growing up in the circus was fun. I was about a little kid. My dad's side of the family has a circus in Mexico. They still run that. I have my cousins run the shows, and that started in 1888. El Circo Atay Hermanos. If anybody in Mexico has heard of that program, leave a comment. Yes, and so that was a lot of fun. I grew up around that. The circus was a lot of fun, and what did I do? I was a clown. I came out as a little clown sometimes and participated in the show. They did a little parade at the beginning of the show and at the end, and I would go out dressed up as a clown, and that was a lot of fun. And then after the Navy, I was got went to the University of Michigan and studied computer science and graphic arts. So that's why I've been have a deep interest in technology and science for a very long time. And after my education at U of M, I went to got involved in the video game industry and worked for Atari. We were developing games for the Atari Jaguar in Silicon Valley. And this was more or less at the end of the life of the Jaguar. They were we were building these three games, and we months away from getting it completed, and they just killed that thing. So I did gain a lot of experience in the game industry, so that was a lot of fun. And what I hope to do here with the AI Explorer, what I'm doing is putting together the news show. And over the course of the last few weeks, of course, I began developing the show in such a way to just assemble some news and sort of get it out there. Because I've back in 1996, I was actually putting together news bits for research scientists at IBM. I mean, well, basically putting together a blog at the time. I had a contract, and then I went off and did other things for many many years, and um, I should probably have a bigger YouTube since I've done some very interesting projects, but I don't. So, therefore, I'm doing my AI Explorer news show now. I'm using technology in order to put the show together, and I'm using a lot of the generative art implementations and studying how the different platforms use the prompts, how the images come out, how the the videos are being put together, and how I can put them together to make the stories more interesting. And hopefully, it can catch on because we want to get the information out there. It doesn't have to be boring all the time, and not that anybody else is boring, but I like to keep myself entertained, and therefore, the AI Explorer news show with AI Naut is where I'm at. And yeah, basically, I'm putting this together for myself, and you know, I'll do it that way. As far as future plans go, I do offer creative services. I'm working with a couple people on some projects. There's going to be a Netflix show coming up. I'm working on with helping to implement some different scenes, and I've worked with a company in Spain and developed some software. I did a lot of prototyping over the last 18 months. I literally had my head inside of speaking to AI, all different platforms, and putting together apps, learning what no code, pushing the limits of what that's all about, so I could understand the limitations and the different ways about working with AI and how that works, so that I could understand how to best utilize that resource. And I have my own analysis and my own ways of doing things. So in essence, I do perform on the side consultations. I do have a business partner, and she handles the business Dragonfly, and we do training. Her last big project was actually quite amazing. She trained. I helped her with this. We trained the city of San Francisco and the municipal employees on using artificial intelligence in for beginners and intermediate, sort of a course for the employees of the Bay Area. So that gave me a good chance to put some learning materials together, and we will continue to do that. That's why one of the reasons I started the channel was to just put information out there, because I was just talking to people about it most of the time. People think I'm nuts because I do dive into the technology, and I use it for myself to see how it works and to try to help other people along the way. So that's what I'm doing. And in essence, let's see. That's what I. Where else do we go? Foreign technology, the circus, and I think that I was going to talk a little bit about ground news because I see that on my background here we have this platform, and I know that it's like the ground news is the left and right thing, so you can see if uh, if it's biased one way or the other. But it's an interesting thing is the bias in technology that's been a highlight these last few weeks, and I noticed that percolating in a lot of the discussions is the bias in technology. And of course, we have bias in our news media. And that's one of the reasons I brought up ground news is so that in this platform, in this news service, it actually tells you if it's a left leaning story or a right leaning story. I could give a shit, but people do take that into account. So, um, yeah, if you're into that, I think it's a lot of energy being harvested by news organizations in order to get us to watch their platforms. So I think ground news is actually pretty good because at least you know what you're getting from either side, and you know it's a good way to see things and keep things balanced. If you see a lot of strife and conflict out there, and you don't want to be a part of it, and at least you know stay in the middle, do what you can. And I like to watch things as a reality show because it's like television programming to me. Life is like a show. So you just observe the things that are happening and sort of enjoy it. When I grew up in the circus, actually, that's probably my why my perspective is like this because I grew up behind the curtain, and the audience was always in front and outside of the ring. So I would always be watching the show from that perspective, and I more or less watch life that way, I guess, and watch it from the sidelines, put things together, think of things to do, think of show. Now with all this AI art going on, it's just phenomenal. Oh my goodness, the generative art between Sora, Midjourney, Dolly, and all these other things. Oh my goodness, can you believe the creativity is going to be unleashed? And we're only months into this. We're only months into this creativity renaissance because I think anybody now is going to be able to create some very interesting stories if just with some know-how and an interesting story, even if it's a 2 or 3 or 5 minute story, people are going to have a chance to use these tools now and really create some stories with the production values were going to be like you've never seen, just from the standpoint of having a level playing field now where it would take a huge amount of effort to put a decent story together. I mean, if you want to do claymation or whatever, that's fine, or a little miniature set. But from the standpoint of putting together a large looking production, the fakery is phenomenal. You gotta love it, right? I mean, who cares if it's fake? If it's a good story, let's do it, right? I mean, how many times have you walked past a Japanese restaurant and the food in the window is fake? Does that stop you from going in and eating it? No. I mean, it's just showing you the stuff. You go in there and you enjoy it. Of course, we're talking. I mean, nutrition. Of course, you don't want fake nutrition, but video. You know, what are you gonna do? It has nothing to do with your nutrition of your to live. Yes, it has something to do with your mental what you take in. That's why the stories have to be compelling, and people have to do good work, or they're just going to click through things and not pay attention. So I think people will actually be involved more and create compelling stories. We'll have to revisit storylines and story development in order to continue our foray into story development, technology, storytelling. It's going to be great. And along the way, people will learn how to do things. I mean, learn by doing. I'm happy to be doing this live stream because it's forcing me to learn more about these controls, how to make this thing work. I'll eventually develop a better format, and maybe we'll do this again if I can get some more subscribers, because hopefully we can get up to 50. We need 50, right? Okay. In any case, I do want to thank you. I'm going to start putting together the news show. I'll probably come back. Actually, what I'll come back and do is do a live stream of myself watching my news show, just so I can see how I can improve it, just from and make it more lively. I mean, I'm not going to jump around and do a bunch of whatever, but I mean, you want to stay watching it, right? Stay watching till the end of the show. I don't want people to be swiping. Anyway, thank you for joining, and I think we'll just move along here. And I appreciate you guys sticking around. Hopefully, I can get a few subscribers through this live stream, and we'll do it again sometime. Thank you so much, and I'm going to get working on the news so I can get the cartoons going and everything, make it entertaining. Have a great day.